Good morning, phonies. Crazy Pretzel here, coming to you live. Hanging out with my buddy Cooper. Well, I think we're hanging out. I don't think he can decide if he's going to leave the table or not. It's October 16th, 2020. Coming at you with your AEW review. If my cat will let me get my notes. Well, I guess we're not hanging out with Cooper. Anywho, so I've decided that I'm going to try to be a little bit more lenient on the grading of these matches on AEW. And, because the guys put in effort and stuff, so I should be just a little bit nicer to it. So, and this doesn't go for promos. I have my own opinion on promos, but here's my new grading scale, or how I grade matches. We grade matches based on selling, grade matches on the time limit, because you only need 5 to 10 minutes for a time limit. I also graded on goofiness / referee retardation / enforcement of the rules. And then I also graded on this other category, which can be logic of the match, entertainment-wise, the storytelling, the purpose of it, common sense, my opinion of it. Also includes post-match promos for the guys to try to get themselves over or something like that. So those are my 4 concepts for grading my matches. As you can see, that's kind of why my overall grading of the show partially is lower than probably a lot of people. So, well, that and the math speaks for itself that some of this stuff it sucks. So, alright. So, the show opens off with the Best Friends versus FTR for the tag team titles. Now, this match, I'm not going to review all the moves in this match because that would just take forever. So, some of the matches I like doing that, but this match went like 18 minutes long. Yeah, 18 minutes long. The selling of it was fine. Most of this overall match, like the wrestling-wise, was fine. Like, there wasn't really like any botches, and the selling was actually pretty good from the guys in it, or something. And of course, you still had that goof Taylor doing his Chuck Taylor. You had him still doing his goofy faces after he does dives and shit. So I'm not really hating on the match for that. But the goofy shit in this match that I didn't like about it was they had for some reason Kip Sabian and Miro were playing some arcade game outside the ring or something, or at least they were making it look like they were playing it. I don't know, because the arcade machine was made out of a cardboard or something. Because later on we see one of the FTR guys, I think it was Cash Wheeler, he threw Trent into it outside the ring. For some reason they didn't take the count out victory after a big spot like that, if you want to call it a big spot. So for some reason they get pissed off. Or no, I think Miro wasn't playing this game. I think it was just Kip playing the arcade game. He gets pissed off. He sends Penelope Ford to the back, and then we don't see what happens until after this match. So I don't know what. FTR won this match. I'm just trying to, oh, that's right. My brain wanted me to forget what happened. Okay. And I might put the clip in here if you guys hadn't seen it, but, God. So the finish of this match was so bad. So, FTR are trying to cheat with hitting the guy with the tag title belt behind the ref's back, right? So, that's what they were going for. You see in the footage, the referee, purposely goes down to the ground and to make him not see them using the title belt. Nothing hits him. There's no ref bump. I concluded that a ghost must have hit him or something. The finish was just absolutely an atrocity. And I'll probably put the little footage in here too, just because it was terrible. So that was this match. FTR wins. This match got a 0.25 point for me on my grading scale. Basically, that was just because the selling was good. Yeah, that's kind of weird to say for an AEW match. So, then post-match, we had Miro coming out, and then he beat up the Best Friends. I don't mind seeing the Best Friends get beat up or whatever. But yeah, the feud with them is going to be stupid. It's basically they're going to feud because they broke an arcade machine. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they effed with their arcade video game stuff or whatever. Like, those are the feuds in wrestling in 2020. So next, speaking of Miro and Kip Sabian, they had a squash match against some jobbers in our next match. Jobbers Lee Johnson and Sean Maluta. Pretty much Miro beat both of them up pretty much most of the match by himself. He was just clotheslining and throwing one guy around. He threw a guy into a guardrail. He tagged Sabian in at one point, and Sabian hit a splash on somebody, and then he tagged Miro back in, and then Miro does the game over. Does that. I just scared my cat with that. So he does that, and then he puts he goes for the accolade or the camel clutch on one of the jobbers. You can see his arms completely miss getting the grip on the guy at first, and then he had to do it again to get the grip on him. So they tap out, and then they cut a terrible promo afterwards. Kip goes on about how his video game that he was playing was his most prized possession or something. He's holding a controller or whatever, and then Miro looks at it and he's like, "You break my shit, game over." Yeah, terrible promo. Terrible promo. And no offense, but your most prized possession should be your fiance, the hot ass fiance you got at ringside with that sexy body with Penelope Ford. Not your goofy ass video game. I mean, who takes an arcade machine to work? Anyway, next we had backstage. We had Lance Archer attacking Moxley. He got Moxley on some kind of table and started just constantly slamming his head on the table. It was good. I liked this. It was a good segment. Next we get a world title tournament number one contender announcement. You should see some of the names that are in this. Some of them I can see, and then some of them I'm just like, what the fuck? Okay. So, one of the opening rounds, it's going to be Penta L0 M, because his name is all jacked up now instead of them just calling him Penta, or Penta L0 or something like that. I don't know. So it's Penta versus Rey Fenix in one round. That might be a good match as far as it being a lucha match. I might give them a little leeway for the not selling in that, because, those guys are lucha wrestlers. Might be generous for them in that match. I actually have seen these two guys wrestle each other before at Independence, and they did a pretty good match. So, again, if you can go into it being more of a lucha match or whatever, you can kind of enjoy it. Granted, I don't want to see that style in everybody's match, but it's their specialty, so I can give them a little slack for it. One match is going to be Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela. Joey Janela loses every match he's in. So he's suddenly good enough to be in a world title tournament? Yeah. Colt Cabana versus Hangman Page. Colt Cabana is a goof. Colt Cabana will always probably hit lose points in this goofiness segment in my rules of matches or whatever. And then Wardlow versus Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy, to me, doesn't really deserve to be in this tournament. Yeah, Wardlow does. In fact, you know what? We all know the finish of this tournament's going to be, it's going to come down to Omega versus Page. That's how they're going to book it. If Wardlow somehow actually wins this tournament, I will eat something absolutely disgusting on camera in front of you guys. Maybe I'll get some applesauce and I'll throw in some crushed red peppers and ginger and cinnamon, and actually cinnamon's good. I'll just throw a bunch of nasty shit into it and eat it in front of you. If Wardlow wins this tournament, I'll do that. But they won't do that. But I wrote a note on the side here. I'm okay, other guys they didn't consider, MJF, a former world title contender who's got a great win streak. Jake Hager, I don't think his win-loss record is that bad, but even then he's still looking kind of a big contender. Sammy Guevara, he's been, kind of hot, or whatever. Chris Jericho, the former world champion. Brian Cage, a former number one contender. Ricky Starks, he's been winning some matches. Darby Allin's been winning some matches, I believe. And I hate to say this because he's a Doink the Clown to me, but Orange Cassidy's also been on a winning streak too. So those are guys that make more sense than Joey Janela and Colt Cabana and Jungle Boy to me in this tournament. So, and I guess maybe even Ray Phoenix too. I don't know, but yeah. So that's my rant on that. Next we have MJF promo. He's with Wardlow. He calls out Jericho. He asks to join the Inner Circle. Ortiz actually cut a decent little statement promo, which I was kind of surprised about. He was saying, he's like, we don't want you in the Inner Circle. And then Jericho asks MJF to a steak dinner next week. So, yeah. This got a half a thing for me, probably just because of Ortiz's actual seriousness. And that's what I'm saying. It's something I like in wrestling. You got Ortiz and Santana. These guys could be like two kind of badass characters in a way, but Ortiz always acts so goofy and stupid with his crouching tiger shit and whatnot. Like, I can't take him serious most of the time. But he wasn't that bad in this thing. For some reason, and Guevara made it work, but like MJF got Guevara like a jacket, and it was like he was calling it like a blanket or something because it was like, 3 sizes too big for him. That was kind of funny. So, next we had Britt Baker, Tony Schiavone, little video skit thingy or something. They showed them both like at some kind of massage spa place, like both laying there. Britt Baker is talking about like putting herself over, being a role model, and she has like Reba show up with the little paper flip thing or whatever, and it says something funny. It says like tip number 5: be the baddest bitch on the block. Like that was kind of funny. Then she like sits up off the table and starts getting into it. Then sees that Shivani doesn't have any clothes on, and they scream at him and freak out because he's like naked because they don't want to see him naked or something. For some reason, then they decided to wax Tony Schiavone's chest afterwards after what they saw. And then Britt Baker just puts herself over in her epic comeback. And then Schiavone was like saying like something like funny about like, like he thanked her for the dental work he did. And he's like, and then she's like, "You're lucky I fixed your teeth or whatever." And then he said something about a couple molars or whatever. So this was all right. It was kind of funny. Britt Baker is cool. Next we have Cody versus Orange Cassidy. Cody's blonde again. I guess he didn't like having brown hair. He comes out with Brandy and Arn Anderson. This match, from the entrances to the entire match went 27 minutes. 27 minutes. Yeah. This match was just way too freaking long, man. We'll go into some action of it. Like I said, overall this match, and I'm just going to be honest, I gave it a quarter point. The quarter point, I don't even know what it was for. It wasn't the time limit for sure. I don't even know what it was for. I think I was just generous and gave him a quarter point, but I don't know. So, like, match starts off, Cassidy's got his hands in his pockets, like, Cody puts him, like, tries to, like, get behind him or something, and then Cassidy does something goofy and ducks down with his hands in his pockets or something. Cody does some rest holds, does a front vertical suplex, does a double axe handle off the top for 2. Cassidy starts doing his goofy ass fake shin kicks, and then Cody like uppercuts him. Cassidy no sells it, super kicks him, and then does a tope suicida. And then we have our goofy, dumb, retarded spot of the match. We have Dark Order at ringside, and we have that goof John Silver, who I can't stand. We got him like trying to steal the TNT television title. Then Cassidy stops him and like knocks him down and then gives the belt to Arn Anderson. And then the ref just throws Dark Order, ejects them from the ringside. Like, what was the point of this? There was no reason for this in the match. Oh, the Dark Order is still invested in the TNT Championship. Yeah, but it was stupid. During this, I saw that I had dropped a potato chip and my cat ate a chip off the floor. I was more entertained by that than this match so far. Back in the ring, Orange Cassidy hits what Excalibur calls a Stun Dog Millionaire. Yeah, Stun Dog Millionaire, which was just a Stone Cold Stunner. Cody no-sells that and hits a springboard diamond cutter. They get back up. Oh, they show Darby Allin watching in the crowd. Yeah. They get back up. Orange hits like a bunch of terrible palm strikes to the chest. Then Cody decides to drop kick his knee and slams his knee like into the post at ringside. And then Cody tries to put him in a figure four, and then Cassidy like pushes him off. So then Cody hits a disaster kick for 2. Then Cody goes for a single leg crab, and then he starts to put him in it, but then he gets off of him. So Excalibur says, like, he mentioned something about his bad back or something in the match he had with Brody Lee last week. So what happens after that? Cody goes Scott Steiner and starts doing some push-ups. Yeah, he does like 6 or 7 push-ups. Like, I don't know. That was pretty stupid. Not so much of Cody doing the push-ups, but it's like, is he a good guy or a bad guy? You know what I'm saying? I think he's supposed to be a good guy, but then he's showing off to this guy, to the good guy that, hey, I'm better than you. That's a bad guy tactic. Anyway, we had a reverse suplex off the top rope from Cody onto Cassidy for 2. Cody hits the ring post, which then Cassidy hits a jumping DDT for 2. Cassidy hits a Michinoku driver for 2. Cody puts him in the figure 4 for like a minute, and then they start like reversing it on each other and rolling around to the ropes. And then Cassidy hits his finishing move to Cody on the ring apron. And then there's like a bit of a count. They do like they go for the count out on the outside or whatever, but then like Cassidy rolls him back in before it. So then Cassidy covers him for 2. Cody no-sells it after no-sells the finish. I mean, yeah, you could say, there was some time on the outside or something for him to recover, but come on. He gets thrown back in the ring, gets a pin for 2, and then he just rolls up Cassidy for a 2 count. It's not even like he kicked out of it. He just, reversed it into a roll-up. So, let's see. Cassidy hits his finisher again on Cody, the beach break, for a 2 count. And then Cassidy, like, the time limit's about to expire. Cassidy, like, rolls him up in this, like, little pin thing he calls the mousetrap, which nobody's ever kicked out of, or whatever. He can't always do that Cassidy can't always do that to people because of their size, but he has him rolled up in that. Then the time expires. So it looked like he was about to beat Cody, but he can't. So again, Orange Cassidy, essentially, I compare him to Doink the Clown. So he's able to take Brody Lee and Cody like to their limits, or whatever. But then like Brody could beat Cody like in 3 minutes or something, or you know what I'm saying? Every time Cody defends this TNT championship, it's like he always like wins or gets by the skin of his teeth versus actually looking like a decent, legit contender for it. So, yeah, I gave this match a 1/4 point, and I really don't know why. The time limit was stupid. The selling wasn't that bad. There was goofiness. I think maybe I was just generous with the other category. Next, we had Lance Archer backstage with Jake the Snake and with Alex Marvez, the greatest interviewer in the land. He asks Jake a question, and then Jake says, like, why do you climb a mountain? Because it's there. He starts to go into one of his promos, and then Moxley shows up to try to attack Archer from earlier, and they have people holding him back and stuff. So that was kind of cool. I like that they followed up on that from earlier. Next, we had Matt Hardy interview. He's there with his family. He says that he's cleared to wrestle now and stuff. Then they show this cool little video package of like somebody setting like these like images of Matt Hardy like on fire, setting him on fire. And then Sammy Guevara reveals himself as the man that attacked Hardy backstage a few weeks ago, whatever, when Hardy was selling the knee or something. And he just says that it's going to be over when he says it's over. So I like that. Good interview promo, whatever. Next, we come back and from the picture-in-picture break or whatever, we see this lottery spinner in the ring. Tony Schiavone announces that next week they're going to have 4 teams face each other to determine number 1 contenders for the tag titles. You know, what happened to that ranking system that you guys had? Remember that ranking system? Yeah. So they pick Private Party. They pick 2 Dark Order jobbers that the idiot John Silver I don't like, and Reynolds, whoever the fuck that is. I guess they're number 3 and 4. I don't know who the fuck they are. Butcher and Blade, who I like, and Young Bucks. So Young Bucks come. Shivani was like, ugh, Young Bucks. It was funny. I like that. So the Bucks come out. They super kick Blade and one of the Dark Order jobbers. Then the guys start to fight a little bit. And then Private Party goes up to him. Like, it's just them and Private Party in the ring. And then Private Party goes to shake their hands. And then they get super kicked. And then JR says, the Bucks and their damn super kicks. Love that line. So, I don't really get why Private Party would want to shake their hands. Apparently they don't watch the show. Anywho, next we got, I gave that like a half point. Next we had Big Swole versus Hikaru Shida. I'm going to check my time on my camera for a second. I still got some time. I got like 33 minutes, so. We had Big Swole versus Hikaru Shida for the women's title. This went 10 minutes, which I like the time limit-wise for it. This match was alright. There was some, I don't know. Beginning of the match, there was like this weird spot. We had like Swole and Shida, like they collided heads and they both went down to the ground. I think they were both supposed to kip up at the same time. For some reason, like Shida like just couldn't kip up or whatever. So then they did the spot again with them both going down. And then Shida just like got up and started doing offense again. So Shida like going into some play-by-play. She just got like Swole like on the outside of the apron, hits her with a knee. She's like doing this like stupid celebration of her move for like 30 seconds, which I don't get why she's doing this, because she's supposed to be like the Asuka or whatever of AEW. Asuka like in the ring is like super serious or whatnot, but she's just being goofy or whatever. So she's celebrating, and then Swole pushes her into the ring post. Shida no-sells it, puts Swole like on the guardrail, like lays her across the guardrail, and then hits this. She has a chair and hits this jumping knee to her. They go back in the ring. Shida hits a suplex for 2, and then a Samoan drop for 2. Swole hits her with a headbutt to the chest, and then they both go like to the top rope or something for a spot. Like, Shida was doing something. Swole was, I think, supposed to sunset flip powerbomb her. She does the flip over it and, like, loses her grip on Shida completely. You just see her land on her ass. So, they decided to, like, I guess, improvise. Like, Swole hit Shida with a diamond cutter on the ramp. And then, when they got back in the ring, she hit her with another diamond cutter. So, that was only for a 2 count. And then, Shida gets back into it with probably some no-selling. She grabs her arms like around Swole and then does the German suplex, and then Excalibur calls it a straight jacket German suplex for some reason. So she got that for 2. She hits Swole with another knee strike and a Falcon Arrow for 2. Swole starts no-selling that. She no-sells it. She hits her Dirty Dancing. Not the movie, because that would be more entertaining than this match. But so she hits the forearm for a 2 count because Shida got to the ropes. I guess that was all right. Shida then immediately gets up and no sells that. She hits 2 running knees for 3, and that's your match. I don't understand why, like, if the running knee is supposed to be so dangerous, why does it take 5 of them to beat somebody? I don't get it. Like I said, the selling was awful, but, you know, some of the stuff was alright. The time limit was good. It's pretty sad in 2020 I have to rate matches on time limits and stuff to give them points. So, next they announce some matches for next week. They announced Cody Rhodes versus Orange Cassidy in 2 weeks for the TNT title. So 20 minutes of them wrestling wasn't enough. And this match in 2 weeks, there's no stipulation to it. There's not like they don't even announce like a no time limit or something, or like, you know, it can't be like a no DQ match or something, or like a submission match, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. They could have did something with this, but no, it's just going to be the same match again. We already saw it, you know? You guys decided not to give us a fucking winner. Because God forbid, you know, Cody actually looked decent defending the TNT title. And like I said, you're trying to push Orange Cassidy as a serious threat. The guy's like, is a Doink the Clown. You know, that is a goofy character with the hands in the pockets and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You don't push the comedy character. So, then we have the epicness of charisma. We have Shawn Spears. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. Shawn Spears, mucus in my nose, you know. So they show this video package of Shawn Spears, like they show him like how he was staring at SCU, the Scorpio Sky, saying good luck, and then he was like talking about how he like wasn't stalking them or something. I don't know, stalking Scorpio Sky or something. I don't know. Pretty much, he goes on about how like Shawn Spears like took something from him about when he was gonna beat up Matt Sydal like after a match on Dark or something, and then Scorpio Sky saved him. So then he's like looking all scary with his glove in his hand and whatnot, and then yeah. So that's the feud. That's the whole Shawn Spears Scorpio Sky feud. Isn't that fucking stupid? And that thing with the glove. You know what, phonies? I'm gonna be right back. Stare at the background for a second. Stare at the background for a second. Alright. This mop head, this part of the mop thing, this would be a better weapon to use in wrestling than his glove. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't that sound like that would hurt? Yeah, imagine fucking just right in the back of the head of somebody with that. And that was me doing it lightly on myself. Did you hear that sound? If you did this like full force, man, that would be devastating. So this part of a mop thing is better than Shawn Spears' fucking glove. Shawn Spears sucks. Get him off the fucking TV. Release this guy. He's not worth the money. And I think the reason that Peyton Royce married this guy is because she can just like tell him to do whatever she wants and he'll fucking do it because he's a piece of shit. So, anywho. Alright. Then we got our main event. Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley for the world title. Eddie Kingston's on commentary. This is a no DQ match. I was disappointed in this match. Because I swear to God, every time like Moxley has a world title match, for some reason, like they absolutely forget how to actually sell moves or whatever, and you do too much making. I get it, Archer's supposed to be like a monster, a tough guy, or something like that, but he was too much of a monster, tough guy, or whatever. Because some of this stuff just was dumb. So match starts off. Moxley hits the paradigm shift for a 2 count. Archer kicks out, then starts going on offense. He throws Moxley into the guardrail. Moxley like hits him with something and then hits him with a tope suicida, because we gotta get the suicide dives in every match. Archer just goes back on offense, and then Archer does a somersault from the ring apron to Moxley on the outside. You might have seen Goldust or Dustin Rhodes do that move. So he does that to him. Again, it's a big, tall, strong guy, but he's got to do flips or whatever. So it's all about being athletic, guys. Moxley gives, what does that say? Moxley, oh, that's right. I couldn't read my writing. So, Moxley, so Archer's beating him up for a while. Moxley, is, on his knees in the ring, giving him the fingers or whatever. And then Archer just boots him in the face. If he's conscious, why is he, taking offense? That was my gripe with that. So they go on the apron. Archer was going to put Moxley through a couple tables he set up outside the ring. Moxley clotheslines him back in. Hits Archer with a German suplex. That Archer actually sold that. I was impressed. Moxley grabs a steel chair, chucks it in Archer's face. Not going to lie, that was kind of a cool spot. Archer chokeslams Moxley on 2 steel chairs that Moxley had set up for 2. After the choke slam, Moxley no-sells the choke slam and tries to get Archer in a knee bar. Archer escapes it. He goes to the outside. He's got a garbage can. Moxley starts to run at him, and then Archer hits him with a garbage can. Is it just me, or does that like look a little bit like a cartoon or something? It looks like a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner cartoon. I don't know. That's just me. Let's see. So they have the two tables set up. Moxley is taking some more offense from Archer, so he low blows Archer, hits his finishing move, the paradigm shift, the double arm DDT through the two tables on the outside of the ring, and then they come back in the ring. He hits him with another paradigm shift for a 2 count. So that's 3 of his finishers he's hitting this match on Archer, and it's not the 1, 2, 3. You know, this isn't Kane from the WWF. This isn't like, I don't know, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt or something. You know, it's not a serial killer. 3 finishers, and he has not beaten Archer. Are you serious? Then he gets him with that bull choke or whatever, but Archer gets out of it. Archer no-sells the 3 paradigm shift he took. So he hits the DDT. So then he hits Moxley with his finisher, the blackout, which is like this, like, basically he, like, holds somebody up here, like, by the arms and then flips him over and slams him on the mat. It's kind of a cool move. So he hits Moxley with that. And then, so Moxley, like, so, yeah, 2 count. What did I say? Moxley rolls him up after Archer gets 2 for the 3. Oh, that's right. So, serious place. So, yeah, Archer hits that big finishing move and then goes for the pinfall, and then Moxley rolls him up after, you know, he goes 1, 2, then he does what Cody Rhodes did earlier, rolls him up 1, 2, 3. So, Moxley wins this match. No selling of finishers. The match went like 12 minutes. This match got a quarter point. I tell you, these world title matches are fucking disappointing, man. Oh, and then Kingston beat up Moxley after the match or whatever. He put him in a rear naked choke or something. He was cutting a promo on him, too. The promo was all right. I think that's why I gave it a quarter point, but yeah. Yeah, terrible world title match. When you got guys no-selling finishers, what's the point of it? You know what I'm saying? Imagine, like, in the UFC, if, like, somebody, like, gets hit with a freaking, like, knockout punch or whatever, but then just, you know, gets back up. That's what I'm saying. Pro wrestling, you're supposed to make the shit look it's supposed to be a fake fight looking realistic as possible. When you're hitting a guy with 3 finishing moves and he's kicking out, and then he hits a finisher, and then the guy just counters it and pins him. Like, it's stupid. It's absolutely fucking stupid. So, this show got a 5.75 out of 13, so it got a 44%, so it got an F. That might be one of their better grades on the show, but this show, 18, 27-minute matches and shit like that, get the fuck out of here. So, anyway, that's my review. Gonna go to work in a little bit. Hopefully work is gonna be better than this show was. If you like soda, drink cherry Coke. Catch you guys later. Peace out.